Body, baby.
On paper, it should have been a close game. Never turned into a blowout, which nobody expected. Clausen's John Jansen, all-stater in football and basketball. He had 17. He's going to play football come at Michigan next fall. For Lakeshore, the man is number 21, Travis Conlon, probably the best point guard in the state. Dish it off for two. Conlon will play basketball at Michigan. Tonight it was Lakeshore winning big time, 71-39. Now, you know, you never think about it when you go to a racetrack. But what do you suppose would happen if the horse said...
The state high school tournament is underway, and as TV2's Michael Mater shows you, everyone seems to be mad about b-ball.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming.
Number 4, Devin Wake.
Let's go! What time is that? We're going to play defense! That's all I do right now. We go to work, and then we go take care of the games, and that's it. Everything else is forgotten about. Okay, we do this 24 hours a day right now.
It's all basketball. There's nothing else. I have my daughters here. We're at every game.
You eat, drink, and sleep basketball?
That's all we do.
It's called March Madness. It's the time of year when everyone eats, drinks, and even sleeps basketball. Yeah. Not only on the college level either. It's happening in high schools across Michigan.
This is all energy, excitement, and I would say yes. It's amazing, but the skill level of these players out here is approaching the college players. College players are just a little bigger and stronger.
It's the same intensity and everything.
The state tournament matched up champions Pershing and Southfield Lathrop.
They have a chance to go in the quarterfinals and maybe win the state champs.
And across town, Oak Park shared the court with Lakeshore High School.
It's like very exciting. I can feel the adrenaline pumping.
The high school tournament is a lot more exciting for some, mainly because it's happening right here at home, and everyone can take part in it.
That's all we think about. It's exciting.
So here's living proof you don't have to go to Wichita to get March Madness. In Warren, Mike Mater, TV2 Eyewitness News.
Boy, those kids are good. By the way, Pershing High beat Southfield Lathrop tonight 56-35. And Lakeshore won 53-49 over Oak Park. Well, we have all seen pictures.
In the NBA, the Cavs at Madison Square Garden.
We'll have all the highlights and all the sports next. And after sports, a feast that will help feed...
Anderson.
Three-pointer late that put it in the win column for New York. Quarterfinal winners tonight in the state high school basketball tournament, Pershing and St. Clair Shores Lakeshore. Steve Fisher among the interested spectators at Ypsilanti High School tonight. Lakeshore's Travis Conlon will play for Fisher. Tell you what, he played tonight, 25 points and 9 rebounds for Lakeshore. The long three-pointer right there. Lakeshore handed Inkster its first loss of the season while remaining unbeaten. Jeff Potu with a bucket here. Lakeshore advancing to the semifinals 70-49. Exhibition baseball, Tigers beat the Royals today down in Florida 4-2. Sean Hare hit a home run. Milt Kyler had 3 hits and stole 2 bases.
The 2 former graffiti artists. That's a picture of you.
Light it up and...
Yeah. You'd be right there, wouldn't you?
That's right, because I'm out all night anyway, so whatever says make, that'd be a great idea. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks, Jimmy. A young team with a big dream leaps one step closer to making it come true. Channel 7's Dave Llewellyn has that in all the sports. And after sports, you may not have heard about it, but the Olympics got underway in the Detroit area tonight. Well, sort of. The story and more when the update continues.
Tomorrow night. In Dallas with the Wolverines, I'm Don Shane reporting for Channel 7 Sports.
High school state tournament action. St. Clair Shores Lakeshore has advanced to the Class B title game. Lakeshore ran off to a 32-12 halftime lead. Travis Conlon scored 13 points, including the three-pointer here. It was a rout in the end, 59-25. Lakeshore will play East Grand Rapids Saturday for the state title. Well, the San Jose Sharks...
Channel 7 Cheryl Choden was at
between the Shoreans of St. Clair Shores Lakeshore and the Pioneers of East Grand Rapids High School. Hi, everyone. I'm Rick Berkey at the Breslin, ready for a big day of action live here on PASS. 4 state championships coming your way. Following this one today, at 2 o'clock this afternoon, we'll have the Class DC doubleheader. Starting out in Class D between Evan Junction Superior Central and Grand Rapids Covenant Christian. Immediately following that one, the Class C finale between Orchard Lake St. Mary and Granville Calvin Christian. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, the Class A finale, Detroit Murray Wright and Detroit Pershing. You know, each team has its own unique story here, and perhaps the biggest variation occurs in our opening game in Class B. Lakeshore is just one step away from completing the ultimate in high school sports, an undefeated state championship season. East Grand Rapids, on the other hand, personifies how the state tournament is truly the second season for all teams across the state of Michigan. The Pioneers finished in 4th place in their conference, and here they are playing for a state crown. Now for a closer look at the two teams going after the B title, let's go courtside to the two gentlemen who will call the action, Tim Stout and Vernon Payne.
Okay, Rick, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Jack Breslin Center, where these two teams are mighty excited. Lakeshore has won 53 games these past 2 seasons, more than any other high school in the state, but they got one more big one they want to get. East Grand Rapids is an underdog, but they won the state football title, so they're used to winning. Vern Payne, the former coach at Western Michigan and Wayne State, here to call the game with us today. It's got to be an exciting time for these young people, huh?
It doesn't get much better than this for high school basketball players in the state, Tim. This is the ultimate.
Now, if you're going to talk about a superstar coming into this game, we got to start with Lakeshore, because the Shoreans have a point guard in Travis Conlon, who is sensational. He's already signed with Michigan. He's going to be the guy East Grand Rapids is going to have to go after.
Travis Conlon is an excellent basketball player. There may be better athletes playing basketball today, but there are not very many better basketball players. He can penetrate. He knows when to go on his own. He knows when to involve his teammates. He's comfortable in a transition game or a half-court game. I really like him.
They play 9 seniors, Lakeshore does, as opposed to East Grand Rapids, which has 3 underclassmen in the starting lineup. Now, they have a 10th grader who plays center, Corbett Elson. It's a lot of pressure to put on a kid, but what the heck, if they want to win, he's got to have a big game.
Corbett Elson is the leading scorer for East Grand Rapids. They have to establish Corbett down low early. He's an excellent back-to-the-back basketball player. He's an excellent board man. If they can get the basketball down low to Corbett early, it could be a good basketball game.
Well, Lakeshore is the favorite, 27-0. They won by 34 here in the semifinals the other night, but maybe East Grand Rapids can just pull off the big upset, which is part of the lore of this tournament.
Absolutely. I think that, you know, the key to this basketball game is going to be how East Grand Rapids handles the pressure.
Okay, we'll be back with the starting lineups in a moment. Rick, that's the pregame set for you. Now back to you.
We're certainly glad to be back here at the Breslin Center after being at the Palace for a few years, and before that, Chrysler Arena in Ann Arbor, and of course before that it was here at Michigan State, but at Jennison Fieldhouse. We're getting ready for a big day of action. We hope you keep it right here on PASS all day long. And we'll be back with the starting lineup in just a moment, so stay right here. One of your network sponsors is True Value Hardware.
Where nature stores gas. Where man does.
Where these two teams are mighty excited. Lakeshore has won 53 games.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The Michigan High School Athletic Association and Michigan State University welcome you to the Jack Breslin Student Event Center for today's final game in the 1994 Class B Boys Basketball Tournament. Good sports are winners because they have the proper perspective about educational athletics. Because in the end, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, but that you played the game. As we prepare to celebrate this educational experience, we invite you to stand. Gentlemen, please remove your hats and caps. I'd like to introduce Kirsten Palmonter and Meredith White of Perry High School, who will sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so stripes and bright stars, through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Our thanks to Kirsten and Meredith from Perry High School. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for today's game between the Pioneers of East Grand Rapids and the Shorians of St. Clair Shores Lakeshore. For East Grand Rapids at forward, 5'11" senior, number 12, Josh Brewer. For Lakeshore at forward, 6'5", senior, number 10, Jeff Patu. At the other forward for East Grand Rapids, 6'5", sophomore, number 40, Corbett Elson. For Lakeshore at forward, 6'3", senior, 50, Carlos Sesta. At center for the Pioneers, 6'6", junior, 44, Chris Vittarini. At center for Lakeshore, 6'5", senior, 33, Pat Flaherty. At the guards for East Grand Rapids, 5'10", junior, number 11, Eddie Lampton. Guard for the Shorians, 6'5", senior, 21, Travis Conlon. The other guard for East Grand Rapids, 6' senior, 32, Jim Carra. And for Lakeshore, 6'1", senior, 23, Jeremy Collins. Head coach of the Pioneers is Scott Tompkins. Head coach of the Shorians is Greg Essler. Your officials for today's game, Harry Costello and Orlando Crockett. The alternate is Dennis Oberlin.
Okay, so there are your officials, Dennis Oberlin, Harry Costello, and Orlando Crockett, and we're just about set to go. Tim Stout along with Vern Payne here at the Breslin Center. Once again, let's look, Vern, at the starting lineups here. Carra hit a basket at the buzzer to win in the quarterfinals for East Grand Rapids. They've had a lot of heroes in the tournament. You see Conlon at the top. He's a point guard, but he leads their team in block shots.
Absolutely. He leads the team in block shots, and he leads the team in assists and steals. So Conlon's a complete basketball player.
As you watch the expressions on the faces of the kids, anything you get to read out of there going into this?
Well, if you look at St. Clair Shores, I think that you see confidence. I think that you see a team that's been here before, and it's going to be hard for the youngsters on East Grand Rapids, I think, to adjust to this veteran basketball team.
Okay, Lakeshore won by 34 here Thursday night over Wyoming Park in the semifinals. That was one of those games that Wyoming Park just couldn't get started. They struggled all night long, and it got worse. And a great win for East Grand Rapids over Ishpeming Westwood, the team that knocked out the two-time state champ Saginaw Buena Vista. Nice to have you with us wherever you are across the state of Michigan on this beautiful Saturday. We're in the spring now, and March Madness coming to a close in the State High School Championship, and Lakeshore has the opening tip.
Lakeshore is going to try to establish their inside game right away. They're going to look inside and try to get an easy basket put on the line.
Travis Conlon was 5 for 18 the other night. He missed his first one here, and that's one he normally would not miss. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Conlon, he's already signed with Michigan. East Grand Rapids the other way. Their first shot by Chris Vittarini doesn't go, and Vittarini cannot get the rebound. 2 possessions, no points yet, and on the drive we have our first foul of the game. We figured it'd be an up-tempo game, and that's the start.
That's exactly right. You know, St. Clair Shores can play fast, they can play slow, and they can play in between. And Travis Conlon is very comfortable with any of those tempos. He had a great move here with a hitch step, froze the defense, and took the ball to the basket. Here he goes. He froze the defense, took the ball to the basket, laid it up with the left hand.
Eddie Lampton gets that personal foul, so there's our first point of the game from Travis Conlon. He averages 20 points a game. He's only a 61% free throw shooter, but he looks pretty good in his form, and his team is up 1-0. Lakeshore 27-0 coming in. They won the Macomb Area League. And East Grand Rapids only 4th in its league over in the Grand Rapids area, but a team that played a lot of Class A schools. Defensive pressure, that creates a turnover, and it's picked off by Jeff Patu, and he heads his team the other way.
East Grand Rapids is going to face that kind of pressure for the entire basketball game until they can prove to the Shoreans that they can handle it.
Jeremy Collins was on the wing. Here's Jeff Patu outside. And Travis Newman for 3. In and out, no. He's 0 for 2, but the putback is up and good by Carlos Sesta, and Lakeshore is out in front 3-0.
Carlos Sesta will crash the boards, and that, on the made basket, that establishes the half-court trap or full-court pressure for Lakeshore.
Okay, East Grand Rapids now down 3. We played a minute and a half here in the opening going. East Grand Rapids struggled in the early going against Ishpeming and rallied the other night for a big win, so maybe that'll be the same pattern for them tonight. Rebound pulled down by Corbett Elson. That's his first. He had 10 the other night. He's the guy that has to play tough for them inside. It's the East Grand Rapids' 3rd possession now, looking for their first points. Josh Brewer from outside. That one's off. The putback is up and no, but a foul is called, and that'll send Jim Carup to the line, and he'll shoot 2. So that's the first foul on the Shoreans.
The Shoreans are forcing East Grand Rapids to start their offense farther out on the court. Here we see the jumper and the rebound and putback by Jim Carup. Jimmy does a nice job of going to the basket. He's also a clutch player for East Grand Rapids.
Jim Carup averaging 9.6 points per game. He's a 69% free throw shooter. We'll try to get that foul for you here that's listed on the board. Travis Conlon they get. No, we'll have to play. They don't have it listed here on the computer, so we'll get that foul for you and put it back on. And East Grand Rapids now on the board. Jim Carup, who won the game in the quarterfinals with a 3-pointer at the buzzer against St. Clair, gives his team its first point. Now it's 3-1 Lakeshore. Whistle inside, on the line, turnover, so Lakeshore gives it back. And that's a tough break, and Jeff Patu is a little unhappy that he was in the wrong place, perhaps with his feet.
I don't think either club has really settled into their style of play yet. I think they're still filling each other out, and they're a little nervous.
Okay, Elson goes inside and has it batted away. Now East Grand Rapids trying to establish some inside position, and as you can see, that's been difficult.
Vittorini, and here we have a travel.
You would expect a lot of turnovers early on in a game like this. Both clubs struggled with turnovers the other night. Maybe the atmosphere and the aura can take its toll early on some of these teams.
Absolutely. I think that although both teams are kind of nervous right now, I think the difference is that Travis Conlon can get his club into the offense.
Okay. So Lakeshore with a 3-1 lead, and they have never trailed in this game so far.
I like this series here. Lakeshore has really settled down. They're going to work the clock a little bit. They're going to be patient. They're going to try to get a good shot.
Pat Flaherty got that foul at the other end for Lakeshore. That finally was listed properly outside. The shot is up and good. Is that Pat Flaherty? It must be, because they've got his number changed. He was listed as 44. Now we got it straight. He's 34. So he has 3 points, and it's 5-1, and it's Lakeshore's biggest lead. And that pressing defense has made it a bit tough. I wonder what we're doing here. And he's listed as 44, but he's wearing 34.
33.
Okay. 33, they've got him at.
Right. The key here for East Grand Rapids is to take the ball down the side, then bring it to the middle. They cannot beat this press going down the side. They must attack the middle.
4:46 to play, first period. St. Clair Lakeshore's leading 5-1 over East Grand Rapids. And the Pioneers still looking for their first field goal, and we're nearly midway through this first quarter. It's key for them to stay in the game early here. Turnaround shot off the glass, no. And it's pulled away again by Lakeshore. So their defense has been tough, and East Grand Rapids is now 0 for 3. 4-3 from outside. That one won't fall by Jeff Patu, and it's pulled down out of there by Jim Carup. And once again, Carup struggling. That's about 4 turnovers now in the early going on the Pioneers. See, Travis Conlon starts at the point, Vern, then he kind of works his way down low.
He will play high, he'll play low, he'll flash the baseline. They'll use him all over the court offensively.
Once again, Jim Carup on the rebound for East Grand Rapids, and again, the Pioneers with a chance to cut into that 4-point lead. 5-1 if you just joined us. St. Clair Shores Lakeshore 27-0 on the turnover. Almost. Elson comes out and picks it up. And 4-3 from the corner. That one won't go by Josh Brewer. And it's out of bounds, and it'll go back to Lakeshore.
I think the Pioneers are really fortunate to be only 4 points down at this stage of the basketball game. They've gotten the ball inside to Vidarini. He has not been able to convert some 2-3-inch shots, but on the other hand, I think that the Lakeshoreans have not really established their offense either.
Carlos Sesta goes out. Chris Reitz, a 6'1 senior, number 30 into the game now for Lakeshore. Lakeshore is only 2 for 7 from the field, but that's better than East Grand Rapids 0 for 4 here in the early going. Travis Conlon on the drive. He's now 0 for 3, whistle and a foul. And that one will go against the Pioneers right in front of the East Grand Rapids bench. Take a look at
Travis does a nice job of penetrating here, and he gets inside and the defense is not established. If you're going to take the charge, you've got to get there early and establish position, and the defense did not accomplish that.
Corbett Elson picks up the foul, his first second team foul on East Grand Rapids. So St. Clair Shores Lakeshore has relied on its defense early on, even though there have not been many points scored. This is in the early going. And turnovers have been a big play with a poor shooting, but that certainly is those are characteristics not uncommon to a lot of these games. It's Conlon for 2, and he is way off early with his shooting today.
Conlon has not had a great offensive semifinal and final game thus far. He's capable of lighting it up, but he hasn't done it thus far.
East Grand Rapids, a young team, and there's your first field goal of the game. Jim Carup gets it, and he has all 3 of East Grand Rapids' points so far. Maybe that'll get his team off a schneid a little bit. They finally are in the field goal column, and they're only 2 down here with 2:33 to go. They couldn't get blown out here early, and they haven't done that at all.
That's exactly right, and Lakeshore has a habit of getting off to a quick start and burying basketball teams, and I think it's the East Grand Rapids advantage if they can hang in here this first quarter.
Eddie Lampton, the point guard here, trying to advance it into the forecourt. East Grand Rapids can tie or take the lead now. This is Jim Carup to give his team the lead. Jim Carup has all 6 East Grand Rapids points.
East Grand Rapids did a great job of taking the basketball to the left side of the floor, getting a quick reversal, getting it back over to the weak side to Jim Carup. He had time to set up, and he knocked down the 3.
Lakeshore has now missed 5 shots in a row, and because of that drought, East Grand Rapids, through the play of Jim Carup, in fact, his coach said he is just willing us through this tournament, and indeed he is.
Jim plays with a lot of heart and a lot of desire.
That foul will go apparently on Chris Vidarini. Take a look inside. They try to create a lot of moves for Travis Conlon.
Now, the reason why that foul was called on Vidarini was because he did not have his arms extended above his shoulders. He had his arms forward, and Travis is entitled to take that basketball up strong in his space.
Carlos Sesta will come back in. There goes Pat Flaherty out of the lineup. Pat Flaherty is a 3.9 grade point average. So here's Travis Conlon. His mother went to Michigan State, but Michigan signed him last November. Purdue was in on him. Well, Conlon now with 2 points. He has still not scored a field goal, and our game is tied at 6. There are 3 players on Lakeshore who average in double figures, led by Travis Conlon, 20 per game. So we're tied with 1:44 to go. Maybe if we're in a low-scoring game, East Grand Rapids can hang in there all the way.
I think so. I think that if East Grand Rapids can establish the inside game, and there we have Corbett Elson going inside strong, if they can get the basketball inside, they can hang tough with Lakeshore.
He missed 5 layups just like that on the semifinal the other night, but his team still won by 14, so the rims have looked a little tight to some of these kids early this morning, but again, they had to be awfully good to get here. Beautiful little stroke post-up jumper there by Jeff Patu, his first 2 points, and it's now 8-6. We've got 4 Lakeshore players with 2 points each, so they've spread their scoring around.
Patu is very good at coming in behind the defense and catching and turning and shooting that little jump shot.
Inside a minute now, as you see here in the first quarter. Hard played, if not altogether perfect in terms of technique on the line. Turnover, and it'll go back over here to Lakeshore. So the Shoreans, after being down 6-5, now lead 8-6, and they have the ball back.
I expect that after this quarter here, both basketball teams will settle down, will execute their offenses much better, and I think you'll see an improvement in East Grand Rapids play because they've been able to hang with Lakeshore for a quarter.
No shot clock in high school basketball, and from the games we've seen this week, they really haven't needed one either. These kids like to get it up the floor and play with it. And it's loose, and the football talent of East Grand Rapids creates a jump ball. It'll go back on the alternating possession to the Pioneers.
Both basketball teams are playing with great intensity. I think they're chasing down every loose ball. They're not conceding any loose balls. I think both basketball teams are doing an excellent job of putting forth a great effort. And that's how you win basketball games. That's how you get this far in the tournament.
Jason Newell, number 4, as you saw. Now into the game, Jeremy Collins will sit down. So Lakeshore has used 7 players here in the first quarter, and East Grand Rapids has gone with its same starting 5. And as you can see, East Grand Rapids likely here now is going to try to play for the last shot, maybe get a tie or the lead. And they can thank Jim Carrup because he's got all 6 of East Grand Rapids points in the first quarter. Carrup only averages 9.6 a game. That one's out of bounds. Foul called. And with 4 seconds to go, that's going to send him back on the line.
Esplin does a nice job here of locating Vitorini and passing the ball down inside.
That one's on Conlon, his first. And so Chris Vitorini will be on the line here to be the first player besides Jim Carrup to score here for East Grand Rapids. He's a 60% free throw shooter, and he can tie the game here at 8 with 4 seconds to play. You can see only a junior. Now we get our first substitution for East Grand Rapids into the game. David Reiner, the 6'1 junior, comes in, and Corbett Elson, only a 10th grader, will sit down. Pretty good future for him, a 10th grader playing in a state championship in his sophomore year. So here's Vitorini to tie the game. Lakeshore gets one last pulling at the buzzer. So we've come to the end of one quarter in the Class B state championship game at St. Clair Shores Lakeshore 8, East Grand Rapids 7. Nothing's been decided. This is the MHSAA on pass.
A 3-3 ball game, bottom of the ninth.
It's prime time for pass. Pass, prime time. 75 pack.
Back at the Breslin, Lakeshore with a 1-point lead over East Grand Rapids after 1 quarter of play in the Class B championship game. I'm being joined right now by my guest analyst, Marshall Thomas from Saginaw High School. Marshall, 1 quarter play, the early stages of this game, the Lakeshore defense probably the big factor.
Right, at the beginning of the game, East Grand Rapids was having a little bit of a problem. For example, the first 8 possessions, they missed the first 4 shots, and then the next 4 they had some turnovers, but they hung in there.
They also didn't panic. East Grand Rapids got themselves together, and maybe they've weathered the storm.
I believe so, and I think that's the reason that they're here in the state finals today. And I think that even the beginning score is a low score in the first quarter, but I think we can look for a little bit more up-tempo ball the rest of the game.
So far, Travis Conlon, the All-Stater, being kept fairly well in check by East Grand Rapids.
Yeah, East Grand Rapids is doing a pretty nice job on the defensive end, too, and they know what they have to do against Traveler.
Back to Tim.
Okay, Tim Stout and Vern Payne, second quarter underway. Neither team shooting very well. 29% for East Grand Rapids, but only 30% for Lakeshore. So, Vern, East Grand Rapids, the underdog, has to hang in there early, and they've done that.
They have absolutely done a fine job. And I think we have to give East Grand Rapids defense some credit. I think that they've gotten pressure on Travis Conlon. I don't think they've given him anything easy. He's had to work for everything he's gotten thus far in the basketball game. And now I think that the handling the pressure is a key. And there the basketball goes to the middle, and that's what you have to do against Lakeishore's pressure.
That's a whistle and a foul called against Lakeshore. That'll be the Shoreans' 3rd foul. Each team with 3 now. Here's the replay.
You take that basketball down to the middle, and that opens up passing lanes against that pressure. Feed down inside low. Vitorini did an excellent job of sealing the defense and drawing the foul.
That's 2 fouls on Pat Flaherty now, and he's one of their key players for Lakeshore inside. Now East Grand Rapids with a chance to take the lead. Well, the Pioneers, it hadn't been pretty, but they're hanging tough. Here's Carob shot, no, but the putback will be up and good, and East Grand Rapids lead. That's Corbett Olson. That's his first 2 points of the morning.
Corbett Olson did an excellent job that time of pressuring the defense under the offense under the basket, and then grabbing that offensive putback.
That's a second lead now for East Grand Rapids in this game. This team only 4th in its league during the season, but got hot at tournament time, won some big games at the buzzer. Travis Conlon for 3 is now 0 for 4, and then he screens his man out, and Conlon picks up his second personal foul.
Jim Carob did an excellent job there of putting pressure on Conlon's shot. First of all, he puts pressure on the shot, and then Conlon tries to slide by, and Carob did an excellent job of screening him off the basket.
So no field goals yet for Travis Conlon, who has struggled here in both the semifinal and final game. But then just as you say that, there's a great steal, goes in, and he's fouled. And that's a special talent right there, and he made it happen, and he'll go back on the line, I believe, and shoot 2.
He does an excellent job here of taking the basketball away from Eddie Lampton, and then he had the presence of mind to attack the basket right away, and Eddie, probably through frustration, commits the foul.
You know, I guess they called that a foul before he went up for the shot, and he made the shot, but it won't count. So that's 2 fouls on Eddie Lampton, and now Lampton will coming into for the East Grand Rapids lineup, as you see, replacement for Eddie Lampton will sit down and rush now. So it's 9-8, East Grand Rapids, a shot outside, that was no good, and East Grand Rapids pulls it down. Well, Jeff Patu couldn't get it to fall again from the outside. The shooting has not been good, but East Grand Rapids hanging in there. That one rolls around and is off by Josh Brewer, and Lakeshore pulls it down. Arlo Sesta with the rebound. Travis Conlon now sets it up for the Shoreans.
Excellent defense by the young sophomore. Excellent.
Inside little turnaround. That one won't go, and it's pulled down by Elson, and he takes it the other way. So it's just been a tough morning so far for Lakeshore to get anything going. There have been no sync in either team's offense, but both teams have played hard defensively. Ball's tipped out of bounds, goes back to East Grand Rapids.
Surprisingly, but perhaps not surprisingly, East Grand Rapids is playing like a senior basketball team, and St. Clair Shores only has 4 seniors on their, 4 underclassmen on their entire roster.
There's another turnover against East Grand Rapids. Lakeshore has missed another 4 shots in a row now. Lakeshore is just 3 for 13 this morning, and East Grand Rapids is 3 for 10. As you look at the Lakeshore bench, where Greg Essler is in his 7th season as the head coach. He's never had a losing season. There were 26 in one. The baseline play does not result in the dunk that Jeff Patu tried to get to go down, and East Grand Rapids back the other way. Pioneers can perhaps play with more confidence as each minute goes by. Off the glass, that one's up and good by Chris Vitorini. 3 for him, and it's the biggest lead this morning for East Grand Rapids.
Absolutely, and you've got to give Josh Brewer a lot of credit for that basket by Vitorini. He did an excellent job of taking the basketball down inside to the big man.
Flaherty's shot is blocked beautifully outside by Vitorini from the baseline by Conlon. No good, and it's pulled down by East Grand Rapids. So the Pioneers came to play this morning, and they've taken advantage of the breaks they've had. Lakeshore is 0 for 5 from three-point land. Inside, it's up and good, and East Grand Rapids, Chris Vitorini, 2 in a row, and now it's a 5-point game for the Pioneers, their biggest lead of the day.
And again, Jim Carob found Vitorini down low, did a nice job of delivering the basketball on the bounce pass, and as we said at the beginning of the show, the key for East Grand Rapids is to get the 2 big kids involved inside, and thus far they've done that and negated Travis Conlon.
They've kept Carob out there on Conlon on the wing. Here's a three-point from outside. Make it 0 for 6 now. And it's loose and out of bounds, and East Grand Rapids will get it back. Listen to their fans. We'll get a substitution here for Lakeshore. 54-6'6" Ron Wallace will come into the game, and he'll replace 6'5" Jeff Patu. So there's Ron Wallace, who comes off the bench, as Greg Essler, Scott Tompkins, you just saw, the coach for East Grand Rapids. He's got to be very pleased. His team has hung in there. They've scored all the points here in the second quarter. And we're down 8-7. They've scored 6 points here to open the second quarter with the 4:17 mark. You can tell East Grand Rapids wants to go inside with it if it can. Vitorini back outside looking for help.
that time. He did not look for a shot here. He was looking to get the ball to Vitorini, and Vitorini was trying to go to the basket for the rebound, and as a result, we had a turnover.
8 turnovers now on East Grand Rapids. Here's Travis Conlon outside, and that one still won't fall. And Conlon is now 0 for 7. So Travis Conlon, 5 for 18 the other night, has missed 7 shots here in the first 12 minutes of this game.
Uncharacteristically, Lakeshore has not been able to generate any offense off of their defense. I think that's the result of them not being able to drop the basketball down and get into their press.
Jim Carup can't get a couple of shots to go. Now Conlon he may be pressing just a little bit here because he's frustrated outside for 3, and that one won't go by Jeremy Collins, but it's corralled by the Shorians. Chris Reed's caught up with it. Back to Conlon. Carup is on him. 3:05 to play, as you see here in the first half. They force it inside of the lead position of the game, but Ron Wallace can't get it to go, and they'll call traveling on Lakeshore, and East Grand Rapids has back. This thing, Bart, we've played 5 minutes, and Lakeshore has not scored here in the second quarter.
And again, you have to give a lot of credit for that to East Grand Rapids. They get good pressure on the defense on Travis Conlon. They have good pressure on Tattoo, and when the ball does come down inside, they collapse and help out very well. And for the most part, they've limited Lakeshore to 1 shot and no putback. So I think at this point in the basketball game, you have to say that East Grand Rapids is controlling the tempo, playing better defense, exhibiting patience on offense, and getting better shots.
24, Andy Hicks for East Grand Rapids. You just saw a 5'11 senior into the game. Lakeshore has now missed 10 shots in a row. So it has been a real struggle here this morning for the Shorians, who led 8-7 after 1 quarter, but have given up 6 straight points. Nearly a steal here. Good hustle there by Lakeshore's Jeremy Collins.
Lakeshore is going to attempt to force the issue here with a 3/4 court trap.
And they did force the issue.
And they did.
Well, that's 9 turnovers now on East Grand Rapids. This looks to be as if it'll be a very low-scoring game. A great first half. Greg Essler's team here. Scott Tompkins, the coach for East Grand Rapids. East Grand Rapids this is the way they can win the game. It's just to keep Lakeshore shooting poorly, off balance offensively, and that's been the story.
And they've done it with man-to-man defense. They haven't gone with a press. They haven't gone with a zone. They've done it basically with man-to-man defense.
They look for Conlon down low. That wasn't the best high feet for 3 outside. That one still won't go. That's 11 shots in a row missed, and Jeff Patu missed that one. But a whistle called and a foul inside, and Elson doesn't like the fact that it's on him, and that's his 2nd personal foul. Corbett Elson said, man, all I did was put my hands up in the air.
I don't think there was much contact by Elson here. He brought his arm down and came across the rebounder's shoulder, and I think that's why they called the foul.
Well, the submarine contact was there, but they weren't looking there. They were looking up high, and it was down low. But nonetheless, that's the call outside. Here's Conlon for 3, and Travis Conlon finally gets his team's first 3 points in the second quarter in his first field goal.
Conlon can hurt you inside. He can hurt you outside. If he gets hot, he can turn this basketball game around in a hurry.
Ball will go back to East Grand Rapids here. So Travis Conlon is now 1 for 8 for Coach Greg Essler. And there's Jim Carup, who's been guarding him. Essler, as I said, in his 7th season, he played at Hazel Park in 1973. He once coached Mike Popowski, the former Michigan Stater, as an assistant at Warren De La Salle. They're still good friends.
Carup may be getting a little tired here. He's had to practically carry East Grand Rapids offensively, and then he's got the tough defensive assignment in guarding Travis.
Nelson's pass inside is tipped away by Conlon with 1:50 to go before halftime here. And stay with us at halftime because we'll have a number of features for you on this day of celebration for the Michigan High School Athletic Association with the championship games in the Boys State Tournament. So here comes Pat Flaherty back into the game, the starting center who struggled a bit, and Ron Wallace. Carlos Sesto will sit out. Back in for East Grand Rapids, as you can see, is Josh Brewer. And he'll replace Andy Hicks, who gets a nice hand as he sits down. 13-11. East Grand Rapids by 2. This is Jim Carup. Dishes it off. 3-pointer from outside. Rims off no good by Paul Reiner. And it's pulled away by Travis Conlon of the Shorians. And he'll pop for 3, 2 in a row. And I'll tell you, that was an NBA 3-pointer as well. Travel is called on East Grand Rapids. They've got 10 turnovers now. And it goes back the other way.
Actually, that was a good shot choice by Travis. Travis understood that if he knocked that 3 down, his team was going to take the lead and gain the momentum here going into the third quarter.
Conlon posts up down low, gets it off. But Pat Flaherty can't handle it, so it's a turnover the other way. And at 6 turnovers now for Lakeshore. So the turnovers are a huge factor in this game along with the poor shooting, but a lot of that caused by hard defense, as you can see. And there's another turnover. Lakeshore going in. And it's a tie game after Jeremy Collins ties it with that one at 13, all 5 points in a row by Lakeshore now.
I think that Greg Essler, the coach for Lakeshore, made a wise decision when he decided to go to the three-quarter court trap and force the issue here.
This is like old-time high school basketball. We don't have many points here in the first half at all. It's 13 all, and we're inside a minute to go in this second quarter.
Not many shots have fallen, that's for
they
sure.
haven't. Here's Travis Conlon, and he falls away. Can't get it to go. He is 2 for 10 now. 1 for 10, excuse me, in the first half. But we're tied. It's anybody's game, and that's what's important. A foul from behind, and that's the third foul on Travis Conlon here in the first half. You got to believe frustration is getting to him up at this point.
I think it is. I think that Travis has not played well offensively. I think he's pressing a little bit defensively, trying to help his basketball team. But getting 3 fouls here in the first half is not going to help the Lakeshore club.
So Travis Conlon is on the bench here. Greg Essler not happy with the officiating here at the moment, and he visits with one of the officials as we get a replacement for Travis Conlon in the game. Also for East Grand Rapids, they'll come back with Andy Hicks, and Corbett Elson gets a nice hand as he takes a rest.
Anytime you put a player in a position where he's got to trap and go for steals, you know, the probability that he's going to foul is there, and that's what happened to Travis.
13-13. I don't remember a half that's this low scoring, but nonetheless, that means it could be 50-50. They're still tied. So it's anybody's game, and it just sets up a good second half. And you can win at 15-13. Somebody's going to be just as excited
just as excited. No question about it.
All right, Jim Carup here looking down the middle to dish it off to someone, and it's out of bounds. It's another turnover, and it goes back to Lakeshore with 14 seconds to go.
In a situation like that, you want to get 100% or a 75% shot. That's a shot that you're going to make 100% of the time or 75% of the time, and that was an ill-advised play.
So we'll see what Lakeshore does here in these final seconds. Jeremy Collins, 23, and they call it travel. And that one goes against Jeff Patu. It has been contagious this morning. 5.9 seconds to play in the first half of a 13-13 tie. Ron Wallace going to check back in for Lakeshore. And with a couple of fouls, Pat Flaherty will sit down. Greg Essler says, I got enough guys in foul trouble. I don't need anybody else. Here's Jim Carrick, but he'll be called for traveling. You know, it's just like playing golf and shooting par and then getting in a tournament. It looks a little tougher when there's so much on the line. These guys aren't on television all the time. Okay, Jeremy Collins going to have to fire at the buzzer. That'll be late. That's the end of the first half. It's tied. And for East Grand Rapids, it's a happy moment. And for St. Clair Shores Lakeshore, well, they're not behind. As Greg Essler heads to the locker room with Scott Tompkins, his counterpart from East Grand Rapids. More like a football game, Vern, at 13 to 13.
It's been a game full of good plays. It's been a game with a lot of bad plays. It's been a game of turnovers. But I'll tell you what, it could be 50-50 at the half instead of 13-13, and East Grand Rapids would still be happy.
Okay, it's halftime here of our Class B State Championship game. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance. This is the MHSAA on Pass.
At halftime of the Class B State Championship, Lakeshore from St. Clair Shores and East Grand Rapids deadlocked at 13 apiece here at the Breslin Arena. East Grand Rapids trying to become just the second team in MHSAA history to win a football championship and boys basketball title in the same year. The other, Detroit St. Martin de Porres, back in the early 80s. You know, one of the areas of emphasis for the Michigan High School Athletic Association is educational excellence. And today, 23 of the back at the Breslin, halftime of the B finale, deadlocked at 13 apiece. East Grand Rapids and St. Clair Shores Lakeshore. A football-type score. It's almost football-type weather. We're getting closer to spring. I'm joined once again here at the half with my colleague, my guest analyst, Marshall Thomas from Saginaw High School. We look at the score, Marshall, and the obvious question of folks, is this good defense or bad offense?
From my perspective, I think it's some very, very good defense. Looking at the score, you might would even think that the two teams are trying to slow the ball down, but that's not the case at all. Both of these teams are some up-tempo teams. They're just having a problem looking against each other's defense. I haven't seen very many shots at all taken without a hand in the face.
Now, the low score, of course, considering the good defense, still is a big part of that, the state championship pressure?
It's very possible, but, you know, you don't know really, but it's very possible. But I tell you what, I look for both teams to settle down in the second half and for us to get a little bit more scoring, even though I think the defense will still be there.
Now, the format changed this year, Marshall, the semifinals here at the Breslin as well as the finals. How do you feel about that?
You know, I think we've all liked it. We like it first off because it's all in one central location, and the fact that you don't have to transport yourself from one area to another one. I know I've enjoyed my 2 days that I've been here.
We've all enjoyed it. Lansing's opened its arms here, and we've certainly had a good time on the Michigan State campus as well. Let's go back to this game here, 13-13, East Grand Rapids and Lakeshore. How about a couple of the key individuals that stood out in your mind so far?
Right now, I think for East Grand Rapids, Corbett Elson has really held them in there. I don't know exactly how many rebounds that he's got, but it seems like every time there was a key rebound that was needed, he got it. Right now, for Lakeshore, some of their stars, like Conlon and Patu, I think they're going to need to step forward a little bit more so this second half.
Let's try to get into mind a little bit later on of the coaches as we get ready for the second half. But again, it's deadlocked at 13 apiece here at the half of the Class B championship. Stay with us. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance.
Whether they live on the farm, in the country, the suburbs.
Players filing out for the start of the second half in the Class B finale. We're no closer to claiming a victor than we were when we started. As you see, we're deadlocked 13 apiece in this low-scoring affair. We mentioned we're back at the Breslin Center here on the campus of Michigan State University. A little bit on the history of the state tournament sites. Tournament started back in 1917 at the Waterman Gymnasium in Ann Arbor. That since has been demolished, no longer in existence. Now, from 1932 to 1947, the Upper Peninsula had its own separate state championships. 48 on, they became combined. Since 1928, though, at least on the Lower Peninsula, all four championships have been held at one site. From 1945 to 1970, they were held here at Michigan State, but of course not at the Breslin, over at Jennison Fieldhouse across the road. Then from 71 to 74, it was alternated between Jennison and Michigan State and the new, at that time, new Chrysler Arena in Ann Arbor. In 75, they moved over from Chrysler Arena all the time, from 75 to 89 in Ann Arbor, then at the Palace, and now we're back at Michigan State. And this year, for the very first time, all semifinals and finals being played on the same floor. Marshall Thomas again with me here, my guest analyst. Let's try to get into the heads of the two coaches. First of all, Coach Essler of St. Clair Shores Lakeshore had to be considered a favorite coming in. He's deadlocked at the half.
I would think so. I would think that he was trying to probably tell his kids to kind of settle down and, you know, do the things that they've been trying to do to be successful all year, because they haven't lost a game this year. And the pressure probably is on St. Clair Shores. But when you got kids like Patu and Conlon, I think that they'll be willing to step forward this second half.
Marshall, I thought Vern Payne made a good comment just before the end of the half when he said Scott Tompkins on that bench was deadlocked 13-13. He wouldn't care if it's 50-50 or 30-30. He's tied going into the second half.
Scott is very, very pleased with where he is at this point in time. There will probably be a lot of people all over the state with 6 losses wouldn't have thought that he could have gotten to the state finals this particular year. But, you know, that's why we play these tournaments, and that's why it's called March Madness.
And that's why we're going to play one more half of basketball for the Class B title. Keep it right here. You're watching the MHSAA on Pass.
Check it out.
What you see is what we got. Halftime, 13-13 East Grand Rapids and St. Clair Shores Lakeshore. Let's take a look at a couple of the highlights here. First of all, Vern Payne.
We've got Jim Carrup coming down low to Bitterini, and I think that this typifies what East Grand Rapids is trying to do. And on the other end of the floor, we'll see Jeremy Collins off of a steal here, and he's going to pull up for a jump shot. And I think that's the difference in these two teams. One perimeter, one inside.
Okay, so if they get the ball inside as we start the third quarter, and right off the bat, East Grand Rapids score. Right off the bat, Chris Vitorine, that's exactly the play you just diagrammed for them. They must have heard you.
Absolutely. And again, that's a big key for East Grand Rapids to be able to establish that inside game, and then don't be surprised if the ball goes inside and then is kicked right back outside for jumpers.
Okay, so it's 15-13, East Grand Rapids' third lead. There's a turnover on St. Clair Shores Lakeshore, and that for them is the turnover of the game. 13 so East Grand Rapids. You can see the field goal shooting from the first half was not good. 31% at 20% for Lakeshore. That's unbelievable for a team 27-0.
Well, with the score 13-15, you would think that the team with the best field goal kicker might win.
Boy, and it may come to that. And I got to go with East Grand Rapids because they won the state football title. Jim Carup inside that won't go for him. But it's pulled down by Eddie Lampton, the junior point guard. East Grand Rapids is on fire here to start. And that shot just went. There's a lid on the basket. Josh Brewer couldn't find it. Now Lakeshore back the other way. Travis Conlon here with the ball 1 for 10 in the first half. And he's fouled. He scores in the basket count. There's the offensive play of the day so far.
All good basketball players will take their teams on their backs. And here we see that Conlon goes inside with a left-hand dribble, pulls up, hits a leaner, and draws the foul.
Jim Carup gets him. That's his first foul. So Travis Conlon, and you got to understand, this guy is all-state and everything. In terms of basketball, he's also an all-state soccer player as well. And he's had some big games this year, of course, but up until that basket today, it's been a real struggle for him. And yet he's still the leading scorer on the floor with 7 points. Jim Carup comes out. Well, he's missed a couple of layups. He's loose on that one and misses another one. The tip up his foot. He's fouled and the basket counts. And give a lot of credit to Eddie Lampton, who made the play complete.
You've got to give some credit to Eddie Lampton there, but you've also got to give a lot of credit to Jimmy Carup. He stole that ball, split the defense, went in, laid his hand, and then Lampton followed with the putback, got it down in the foul. Here we see another angle on Carup coming in, split the defense, goes in with the left hand, keeps his inside shoulder into the defense and protects the basketball, and then Lampton comes in and does a nice job.
Travis Conlon with his 4th personal foul. He's on the bench. That's a key play in so many different ways. But here's junior Eddie Lampton, and he misses. For East Grand Rapids, now they need some points here with a star on the bench. And the drive is up and good by Josh Brewer, his first 2. East Grand Rapids already has 6 points in the first minute and 17 seconds, and that's all they got in the total second quarter, and they get a steal. Jim Carup, 2 steals in a row, goes in, lays it up in.
What's significant here is that East Grand Rapids players, although their perimeter players, are taking the ball to the basket and scoring inside on those easy 2-inch shots.
Ray and I were saying during the halftime there that the perimeter games for neither club was working. They got to get it inside and off those steals. Obviously, of course, you get easy shots, and East Grand Rapids has been rolling. Let's see what Lakeshore has now with their star on the bench, and Jeff Patu now has 4 points. There's a little more scoring here.
I think as Marshall said at the half, I think both teams are settling down a little bit now, and you can see some better offense.
There's Vitorine turns it over, 3-on-2 for Lakeshore. They dump it off, whistle, and a foul's called, and that's an offensive foul against Jeff Patu, and that's his first personal.
Well, the first thing you got to do in the transition game is pull up, stop your momentum, and not get that charge call. That would have been a good play if the 2 would have just jump stopped and then made the pass and stopped his forward momentum.
Yeah, it was a good call, too, because there was position there, and it was Eddie Lampton who took the charge. Vern said he'd be a key player, and he's made some key plays. Here's Carup up off the glass. He was intimidated there by Pat Flaherty. Back, and you can see some size inside, and Lakeshore pulls it away.
One man's intimidation, Tim, is another man's foul.
You got that. Here's Flaherty looking for some help. Goes over the top, and it still won't go. And Jim Carup again with a rebound for the Pioneers of East Grand Rapids, who have a 4-point lead. And that is surprising, believe me. There's a whistle and a foul. That's against Lakeshore. It's against Jeremy Collins, and that's his first.
Jeremy's really struggling down inside with Heslin. Elson's doing a very fine job of sealing the defense and calling for the basketball. And Flaherty's trying to fight around and get position, and as a result of that, he committed the foul.
Pat Flaherty is going to get called for that foul, and that's his 3rd. It is not on Jeremy Collins. So 3 fouls on Flaherty, 4 on Travis Conlon, and Lakeshore's got 2 key players in big foul trouble. Underneath, here's Elson. Picks it up and in. Well, there's Corbett Elson. That's 4 for him, and it's the biggest lead of the game for East Grand Rapids.
And credit Eddie Lampton with finding the big man down inside. They are really doing a good job right now, isolating inside and taking the basketball down low. And unless Lakeshore comes up with some big plays to stop them defensively, East Grand Rapids is on the verge of breaking it open.
Jeff Patu can't find it. Here's Carup the other way. Pulls up and scores. Jim Carup. And suddenly, East Grand Rapids has an 8-point lead, and Greg Kessler has seen it up. Lakeshore calls time, and the East Grand Rapids Pioneers are fired up. They have already scored almost as many points here in the first 3.5 minutes of the third quarter as they did in the entire first half.
And a big key here for East Grand Rapids, I think, is their patience and their defense. I think they've generated most of their points here in this third quarter off of defensive steals and interceptions. And then they have the presence of mind to go for good shots down inside with the big fellas.
And you can see they beat Isthmian Westwood, a team that knocked out 2-time defending champion Buena Vista, and then Wyoming Park, which beat East Grand Rapids twice and was beaten by 34 by Lakeshore. So we all figured, well, it looks like a big Lakeshore runaway win, and yet Greg Essler's team is in the fight of its life right now.
That's exactly right. And the problem with that thinking is that the kids might start to believe that. And if they don't come out and play hard, you've got your hands full.
Jim Carup now has been a sensational player today for East Grand Rapids. He's 5 for 10 from the field, and he has 10 points on the game. He averages 9.6. So here's Greg Essler. He's got Travis Conlon. He'll have to make a decision here pretty soon, I would think, as to when he's going to bring him back at Richmond.
Well, I think he's going to lead him out for a couple more minutes minimally, so that he'll have him at least for that fourth quarter. But I think right now, here we see Jim Carup going to the basket strong with that high off-the-glass leaner. I think right now you're going to see Lakeshore really working hard to take the basketball down low, and I think that's what Coach Essler was trying to get across to the team during that timeout.
East Grand Rapids is 6 for 11 shooting this quarter, so that's an enormous improvement. Now a three-pointer up the top of the key is up and good by Jeremy Collins. That's 5 for him, and it's a 5-point game.
Nice double screen to create that shot for Jeremy.
And he looked confident shooting it, too, and it certainly will help his team that it went down in terms of confidence and not the scoreboard. You can see Lakeshore has turned up the tempo here defensively. East Grand Rapids won the Class C state championship in 1950, 44 years ago. And in Class B, they lost in 1962 by 33 to River Rouge. So they're going for something today.
Nice double screen there. Nice rhythm on that jump shot by Collins.
There's Eddie Lampton dishing it off now. You can see East Grand Rapids looking inside. This has been by far the best played quarter of the three at the 3:58 mark in the third quarter. East Grand Rapids with a 5-point lead. And there's a turnover, and now St. Clair Shores Lakeshore is getting better play. Jeremy Collins, 23, helping make it happen. This is an all-senior team of the first 9 guys, so this is their last shot.
I can guarantee you that Lakeshore is not going to fold. I can guarantee you that Lakeshore is going to hang in there and make a basketball game out of this.
Well, East Grand Rapids going for a state title in football and basketball in the same school year, and that does not happen very often in it at all. And that's a foul that goes against Lakeshore's Jeff Patu. That's his second foul. Just think, Lakeshore is 53-1 in 2 years coming in today. There's the foul called against Jeff Patu. These seniors, Vern, have not known losing at Lakeshore. One time, a 20-point loss in the semis last year to Saginaw and Buena Vista. And they've won all their games these 2 seasons coming in today except for that.
And right now, Lakeshore's expectation is to win.
Inside, Corbett Elson doesn't get the roll. Good defense there that time by Pat Flaherty, who made that move with 3 fouls on him, too.
Well, you can't back off. I mean, there's no tomorrow. This is a state tournament. 3 fouls, 4 fouls. It doesn't make any difference. You got to play your game.
Now Lakeshore looking to cut into the 5-point lead. Turns it over again, and then just that quickly, Eddie Lampton can't handle the dribble. And I'll tell you that we've had 28 turnovers in this game at the 2:56 mark of the third quarter. There's 2 quickies right there.
One would think that the key to the game might be whoever maintains possession and doesn't turn it over and gets a good shot.
Jason Knoll, a 5'9 senior, comes in for Lakeshore, and he'll replace Carlos Sesta. Good look at Greg Essler. Boy, the butterflies that must be going through him after what they've been through. But as Vern says, you know they'll be in it the rest of the way, whether they win or lose.
I'm impressed with Lakeshore. You know, a lesser team would have folded after East Grand Rapids hung in there that first half, but, you know, Lakeshore is still in this basketball game.
Here's the shot from the baseline. Will go tipped up and in, the basket counts, and a good play inside by Pat Flaherty. Comes in from the weak side and gets it, and now they have a chance to cut it to 2.
Patu does a nice job here of turning his body and squaring up to the basket. He didn't get the bounce, but Flaherty was on the backside, was able to get the putback.
That's Josh Brewer with his first personal foul. And so now it's been a 5-point run here for Lakeshore. Here's the weak side putback. It's good. And on the line is Pat Flaherty, a 3.9 grade point student. So academics are a big deal for him, as well as the basketball court. 3-point play. He now has 5 points today. And it's a 2-point game.
And that allowed Lakeshore to get into their full court press. They really enjoy trapping and pressing off of made baskets, and if they make a few more, I look for the pressure to really increase.
Lakeshore on a 6-0 run. There's the turnover on East Grand Rapids, and so now Lakeshore on that run has a chance to perhaps tie or take the lead. Well, it's not a full house here today, but it's a good crowd nonetheless, and they're making noise. That's the Lakeshore section, as you can see. These games are never easy for coaches at any level, Coach.
Never. I look for Lakeshore to take their time on this possession to make sure they get what they want out of this, to make sure they don't turn the basketball over and get a good sound shot.
Well, they've made this run with their superstar Travis Conlon on the bench with 4 fouls. A 6-0 run after East Grand Rapids was so hot. Here's the jumper outside. That's not off. And Jeremy Collins hustles it down in the corner for the Shoreians.
They actually got a good shot there. And here's another good shot.
Jeremy Collins off again. That's another rebound. Jeff Patu. They've had 2 chances now. Turn around by Patu. That won't go, and it's pulled down by Eddie Lampton of East Grand Rapids. So the Pioneers weather the offensive storm there, but they've gone a couple minutes now without scoring.
The key thing about that last Lakeshore series, Tim, was that they got 3 shots. During the second quarter, East Grand Rapids was able to limit Lakeshore to 1 attempt at the basket. Then they got the defensive rebound.
1:28 as you see to play here in the third quarter. This is going to set up a great fourth quarter. Inside, oh, they got a nice pass, little touch pass from Vidarini inside to Corbin Elson. He scores 6 for him, and they needed that to stop the bleeding.
That was a nice junior sophomore combination. You had the big Vidarini coming to the top and looking low for Elson, and they got it down there, and he did a fine job of completing the play.
Boy, I tell you, East Grand Rapids, a lunch bucket crew. They work hard for everything here as the ball loose on the floor, scramble both ways, and it's out of bounds back to Lakeshore. One thing about these games, they're not perfectly played, but boy, do they play hard.
They are played with a lot of intensity. Every play might not be pretty, and this is not really a great play here, but we see the pass being attempted down inside and the drive.
He almost got it, but didn't quite have the angle. They'll wipe up some perspiration here on the floor. 27-23 here in the Class B championship game. East Grand Rapids against St. Clair Shores Lakeshore. It was 13-all at halftime. So inside a minute now in the third quarter. This is Jason Knoll, a 5'9 senior, number 4. 23 is Jeremy Collins. 30 is Chris Reach. They're going to hold the ball here because their star Travis Conlon is on the bench. So they'll shorten the game and stay within no more than 4 points behind.
Excellent decision here. And East Grand Rapids is not going to come out and pressure the basketball. They're going to allow them to perimeter pass and give them the last shot.
Well, it's hard to turn it over when you're not doing anything with it. And that's what they want to protect against. So there'll be no more than 4 down here and maybe less than that at the end of 3 quarters with 8 frantic minutes to go. Now they'll go into their offense here in these last 14 seconds, and we'll see if they get anything. And from outside, it's good. They ran it perfectly. Chris Reach hits the, they give him 3 on that burn at the buzzer. I think they got a 3 on that. They give him 3 on that. They give him a 3-pointer. And it worked for St. Clair Shores Lakeshore, and after being 8 points down, they cut it back to 1. quarters at St. Clair Shores East Grand Rapids 27, St. Clair Shores Lakeshore 26. Back for the fourth quarter in a moment. This is the MHSAA on Pass.
Pass has your ticket to the stars. The stars of the NBA. Thunder Jam and Super.
Three-quarters complete here, and East Grand Rapids with a 1-point lead over St. Clair Shores Lakeshore as we get ready for the fourth and final period here at the Breslin Center in the Class B finale. Marshall Thomas joins me once again. Marshall, East Grand Rapids not playing like the underdog anymore.
No, as this game goes on further and further, you can see them gaining more and more confidence. And what I mean by confidence is you can just see that they believe in themselves on the decisions that they're making on the floor.
The Lakeshore Star out with 4 fouls. However, the other guys have picked it up.
I think that's what makes them such a good team. And they haven't lost so far this year. They're not simply going to fold simply because their star is out of the game.
Let's go back to Tim.
Well, their stars back in the game. Travis Conlon, 21, is going to start the fourth quarter with 4 personal fouls. His team is a point down. So they played that last minute beautifully, Vern Payne.
They played that very well, and that's what a veteran basketball team should do. The problem here is that they cannot start relying on Travis Conlon. They have to stay with the team concept and not put pressure on Travis to win this basketball game.
Well, he tried to make that one, missed it, so he's now 2 for 12. Out of bounds back to Lakeshore. Or is that a foul? It's going to be a foul. Yeah, it is. And that's against East Grand Rapids. Is that 44, Chris Vitorini, and that's his second foul. Third team foul here in this half, so they'll inbound it here. Lakeshore is 3 for 17 from three-point land, so they have struggled there all day long. And from the field totally, Conlon is 2 out of 12. Travis just can't quite get it going, and yet his team's only a point down. But he's got to be careful now with those 4 fouls. There he is, 21 with the ball. He joined us late. He signed last November to play at Michigan. Turnaround shot is way off. That one missed by Carlos Sasta. So now East Grand Rapids weathered again that offensive frost and will try to add to its narrow lead. Now, Vern, do you take the ball against Conlon here? Do you drive on him, try to get him out of there?
You try to drive the ball on Conlon. You try to put him in a situation where he's involved in a trap, and he might reach in and get a call on him there. If they continue with this pressure, Conlon could pick up his 5th foul.
Well, they don't go to zone to protect him at all. They'll stay man-to-man. He's 21 with 4 fouls. And I'll tell you, without him, they're a whole different team. Whether they can win without him, we just have to see. 6:50 to play in the game. We're in the fourth quarter here. East Grand Rapids by 1. Possessions and baskets have been like gold in this game. Vitorini is blocked, and they'll call the foul, and that'll go against Jeremy Collins. That's his first, and that should send Vitorini to the line, where he is only a 60% shooter.
You see the drive to the baseline and the excellent bounce pass. Vitorini does a really nice job of turning before he shoots, locates the defense, and then takes the basketball up.
Greg Gessler looking on. Vitorini's father played at Battle Creek Lakeview in the 1956 semifinal game. Played with Sticks Bolton. That was a pretty good team. And he puts his team a 2-point lead. He now has 8 points in the game. Chris had 17 in the semifinals on Thursday night. And he averages 8 per game, so he's right on that mark right now. Scott Tompkins in his first year, what a first-year present that would be to win a title. And Vitorini, cool as can be, puts his team back up by 3.
Absolutely. Scott's done a very fine job with his basketball team. As we've mentioned before, they finished 4th in their league, and here they are playing for the championship.
To tie the game outside, it's up and in by Travis Conlon. He needed that one, and we're tied at 29.
And he got it in the flow of the offense. He did not force it. He did not go one-on-one. They did a nice job of reversing the basketball to Travis. He took his time and knocked down the jumper.
He has now a couple of 3-pointers in this game, and 10 points for Conlon, who averages 20. Now, don't count him out, even though he's been struggling today. The only thing that can get him out of here is one more foul. Look good there, too.
Travis is a competitor. He's going to be around at the end of the basketball game. I think he's smart enough not to commit that 5th foul.
Now, they've got him on the point guard. Now, Eddie Lampton, although he'll switch off. So East Grand Rapids now struggling to inbound. It turns it over. And that's 19 turnovers today for East Grand Rapids.
The one thing that East Grand Rapids cannot do here is throw those long ducks across court. They're going to be intercepted.
Now Lakeshore's crowd will explode in front of the bench if the Lakeshorians score here. Here's Conlon, and he carries it. That's a 2-pointer. He's heating up now. 12 for Travis Conlon. More importantly, he's made 2 in a row. But as Vern says he's got to keep the enthusiasm down a little on defense and now to reach in there and get his 5th foul. 5:50 to go. Now let's see if East Grand Rapids can counter here. They led by 8 and they called timeout. They had a man in trouble there, and so Josh Brewer went ahead and called a timeout. 2-point game of 5:46 to play. East Grand Rapids trailing Lakeshore by 2. We'll be back in a moment. One of your network sponsors is True Value Hardware. This is the MHSAA on Pass.
Where nature stores gas. Where man does.
You know, I think being out of the basketball game helps Travis. He's able to sit on the sidelines and watch the floor of the basketball game, and he realizes that he can get his shots off without forcing them. They did an excellent job of taking the basketball to him there.
He looked like the all-stater he is on his last 2 shots, putting them both in for 5 points in this quarter. And he has all of his team's points in this quarter. Remember, it was 25-17 in favor of East Grand Rapids, and they throw it away.
The one thing that Coach Tompkins told his team at halftime was to be patient against that pressure, shorten up the passes, and make sure you don't turn it over. And that was a key turnover.
Now Scott Tompkins' team has to tighten it up defensively and just hope to hang in there with enough field goals on offense. 31-29, 2-point game. And here's Conlon wide open for 3. And Chris Vidarini pulls it down. East Grand Rapids has a chance to tie or take the lead here at the 5:12 mark. East Grand Rapids has got to keep from turning it over, though. That's been killing them here all day long.
Absolutely.
Inside Elson, can't get it to go. No call on a lot of contact there, and a good play defensively by Jeff Patu, who kept Elson from able to score. You can bet Lakeshore's looking for its man, and that's 21, and there he is, Travis Conlon. In a pickup game, Vern, he'll take that.
Yes, he will.
Take it in this game.
He's had success.
Outside for 3, and that's 2 3-pointers, and Conlon runs it down. Lakeshore owning the offensive glass here in the second half.
Conlon's got to give the basketball up and try to catch it away from the defense.
Inside turnaround jumper finally falls, and the man to get it done was Carlos Sesta. 4 for him, and now it's 33-29. And Lakeshore is on a 16-4 run here in the second half. 33-29 at the midway point of the 4th quarter.
This 2-3 half-court trap is really bothering East Grand Rapids.
Jim Carup, they've taken him out of the game and puts it back in. Carup now, it's 12 points for Jim Carup. They needed that one.
They needed that one, and Carup is right there, split the seam of that trap, pulled up for a nice short jumper.
As his coach Scott Tompkins has said, Jim Carup has just willed his way to keep us in the tournament. And a turnaround shot, that one won't go. And it's pulled down by Chris Vidarini. Well, it looked as if Sesta would make 2 in a row, not to be. So again, East Grand Rapids, chance to tie or take the lead. Here's Brewer inside, no. And he gets an offensive board and ties the game. Josh Brewer. Nobody there underneath on the defense.
And Brewer stayed with that shot. No one checked him off. Able to get the rebound and stick it right back.
I tell you, that's not a lot of scoring, but it's a close game. Even up Conlon down the middle. Whistle, and I believe he's fouled. And that one will go against East Grand Rapids. And is it Vidarini underneath who gets it? No, it isn't.
Here's Travis going to the basket. Does a nice job of faking off the screen. And I think it was 11.
Now Lampton. Eddie Lampton has his 3rd.
Foul.
You notice Conlon looked to make sure here that he wasn't going to get a charge in the middle there. As with 4 fouls, he's been hanging around. He missed most of the 3rd quarter, but his presence has brought his team back from an 8-point deficit. This is Travis Conlon. There's one move. Here he is off balance, and that one won't go either. A nice job by Jim Carup, and then loses it out of bounds. You know, if Jim Carup loses this game, nobody will remember him here 32, but what a job he's done chasing Conlon, and he's got him 4 for 17 shooting today.
He's done an outstanding job on Travis, and he's come off of screens. They're screening for Travis, and he's worked very, very hard to limit Travis's shots.
So Lakeshore, 2:57 to play. The game is tied at 33. Lakeshore looking for its first ever state championship, only one for East Grand Rapids 44 years ago. Conlon for 3. He'd make it 4 for 18. It won't fall today. And East Grand Rapids now on a 4-point run with a a chance to take the lead. Pioneers. This is going to be right out of the movie Hoosiers if they win this to come back from where they were, and they get a travel against Josh Brewer.
You know, and I'm not sure in college that call might get made, certainly not in the NBA, but in high schools, you got to plan it on those moves to start, or they're going to call you for travel.
Absolutely. You've got to establish your pivot foot before you put the basketball down in high school basketball, or you will get called for travel. No question about that.
21 East Grand Rapids turnovers have resulted in 17 Lakeshore points. 2:15 to go outside. That one is up and off, no good. Loose on the floor, and East Grand Rapids has it. Pat Flaherty missed it, and so now at the 2-minute mark, you have to wonder if they want to slow it down, maybe even delay the game. And East Grand Rapids, Scott Thompson says, let's shorten it. And there's a timeout on the floor. This telecast is a copyright production of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and PASS. No reproduction of the pictures or accounts of this game may take place without the express written permission of the MHSAA and PASS. Tim Stout with Vern Payne. You take a look at the East Grand Rapids Pioneers around first-year coach Scott Tompkins. And what a gutty performance they played. This is the kind of game they had to have a chance. And let's listen to Scott Greg Essler, the coach at Lakeshore.
Whenever you have your belly up with them right away, they understood. Belly up on them right away. Next time out, they're coming in. Next time on offense, we're going to run ISO. Next time on offense, we're run ISO. Is that understood? Next time on offense, we're run ISO. 32, 32, 35. Everybody else, belly up. Let's go 2 minutes. Come on, guys. 2 minutes. Go for it. 2 minutes. Go fight.
On the line, and Coach Essler wants his defense to belly up, keep people in front of him, take away penetration, and then on the offensive end, Coach is looking for an isolation, and if you're going to isolate somebody, I would have to guess it's going to be Travis Conlon.
Now, if you were East Grand Rapids, would you try to, 2 minutes would be an eternity in a high school game, especially under these conditions, and try to isolate the ball and play it at the end? Would you just try to keep it and look for a good shot, or do you want to shorten the game here?
I think the first thing that you got to tell the kids, and I'm sure Coach Thompson told them, is that, hey, we got to do a better job against the half-court pressure and the half-court traps, take care of the basketball, and then we want to take the ball to the middle of the floor against those traps and try to get a good, easy inside basket. I don't think they're going to try to hold the basketball for 2 minutes.
11,314 looking on here in this first game today. If they're all this exciting, it's going to be a great day. 33 all. East Grand Rapids trying to win as an underdog. And they're going to fire from outside. That one's off, and there's perhaps the break the Lakeshore wanted. Not the best shot by the Pioneers. Josh Brewer took the shot. And so now, let's see what Lakeshore. Travis Conlon, their superstar, has the ball against Jim Cara. And they're going to shoot. Flaherty shot as an air ball, and it's pulled down by Corbett Elson.
I think they wanted the ball to go down inside the Flaherty, but then when the defense collapsed, bring it right back out to the jump shooter Conlon.
East Grand Rapids. 1:21. Well, you see the clock. You count it for yourself. Now will turnovers be a factor here in the final moments of this tie game? Tight man-to-man. Inside, that's the man they want. He lays it up and in. They take patience, and Corbett Elson gives East Grand Rapids the lead.
And that's the play they wanted after the timeout. They wanted penetration. They wanted to pass down low. They got it the second time around.
53 seconds to play. Conlon's going to put it up. Ooh, he was fouled.
Tremendous defense.
And they went. Oh, they do call a foul. They kind of came in late on that one. Now, was it they fouled him before the shot? It looked like it was during the shot here, which would put him on the line to shoot. Yeah, see, he hooked him there. I saw that. That's got to be the call, isn't it? I don't know where they called that. It's a foul, but not a shooting foul. You'll have to cue me in on that one later. At any rate, Lakeshore has the ball with 48 seconds to go, down by 2.
They got it to their money, man.
Here's Conlon. Travis Conlon. 36-35. Lakeshore with 37 seconds to play. East Grand Rapids calls timeout and gets it. I'm not sure exactly. Or do they call a foul beforehand? I believe they called a foul before the timeout. That's how they do. They call a foul against Lakeshore before the timeout. And Greg Essler's going to want a timeout here eventually. Now Lakeshore wants the timeout. So East Grand Rapids get a little profit there. They don't spend the timeout. They get it. And they also will go to the line and shoot free throws. Here's Travis Conlon his third three-pointer today. And he's had 8 points in this fourth quarter, and his team has a 1-point lead. Each team with 2 timeouts left. Kern?
Well, Travis has been really tough the second half. When they reverse the basketball to him and isolate him for jump shots, he doesn't have to put the ball on the deck and dribble. He can just catch, set, and shoot. And that's what he did on this last play.
15 points of Lakeshore's 36 by Travis Kylan, who's back close to his average. All right, here's Scott Tompkins. Let's listen in.
And that's a great layup or a great shot. Okay? Remember that. Fouls, we got. You got to foul right away. You got to foul right away if you miss a shot. Okay? We're going to foul again. We got 2 left. We're going to go diagonal for second. We're going diagonal here. Corbin's here. Josh, Jimmy set the screen here. Josh, you're here. Fid, you're here. Bring it over, Eddie. Get a good screen. Corbin, you flash right out. It's not there. Don't run it. What am I doing? You're going to screen down Jimmy. Okay, Jimmy pop up. You bring it on the Fid on a 2-man game on this side. Okay? You're going to screen down for Jimmy. Right, Josh? Understand that? Hey, take it to the basket strong. That's a foul. Your late can't be a basket. 2 timeouts.
Okay. There you have the East Grand Rapids point of view. That was a 16 foul. No 1-and-1. So East Grand Rapids will inbound the basketball. Would you rather be 1 up without the ball or 1 down with the ball?
I would rather be 1 up in any circumstances.
Okay, 33 seconds to go. Corbin Elson will inbound the basketball to Jim Carrot. So here we are in the final seconds of the B championship game, right on the line. Carrot hit a 3-pointer at the buzzer the other night to win it for his team in the quarterfinals. Eddie Lampton is 11. Oh, he finds Elson wide open to give his team the lead by 1.
Great play.
11 seconds to go.
You got to double up here.
No timeout. Kylan buries in, and he's fouled with 5 seconds to go from behind by Jim Carrot. And they're going to put apparently Travis Kylan on the line. Is that the 17th foul or is it a common foul? No, it is not a shooting foul. That's the 16th foul. 37-36. Here it is. Boy, he barreled in there to Elson. There was no call there. So they call it a common foul, timeout. The next foul will put someone on the line. And so Lakeshore will have the basketball 1 point down with 5.6 seconds to go to win it or lose it.
This is what it's all about. Both basketball teams right now have an opportunity to win the game. East Grand Rapids has got to play tremendous defense here. They've got to skew the defense to take away Kylan, but at the same time, I think that they can go down inside and get hurt if they put too much pressure on the perimeter. And of course, Lakeshore has an opportunity here to set Kylan up for a jumper or take the ball down inside for either a shot or a foul.
Let's see what they want to do.
You're setting a hard screen. 2, you're in the corner right here like so. Now listen to me. Set a good screen. I want the ball in Kylan's hands right here. Now listen to me. When he shoots the ball, everybody goes to the basket. Everybody goes to the basket. Is that understood? Everybody goes to the basket. If you can't get the ball in bounds, you got 1 more timeout. But set a good screen for him. Pull up and get the shot right. Everybody crashes the board.
5.6 seconds to play, and that's a Lakeshore team that's gone 53 away. Here's the basket that may have won the game.
The defense came high. They were trying to trap and pressure, and Elson was able to slip inside.
Sophomore Corbin Elson with his 10th point. That foul was on Jim Carrot, his second. So here we go now. Timeout East Grand Rapids. They wanted to look at what Lakeshore wanted to set out. And so now each team has 1 timeout remaining here. As this one comes to, that's why 100,000 people are in Lansing this weekend, right?
Tim, this game might have started out very slow. We had 13-13 at half, but 36-37 with 5.6 on the clock is pretty exciting.
I mean, it could be 102 to 102. It's still, this is a 1-point game, and this is still the situation you want to be in, right? By the way, the D game coming up, as you see, at 2 o'clock here on Pass, and one of 3 more championships to be decided today. That's at 2 o'clock, the C game at 4, and tonight is the Class A championship right here on Pass during Fan Appreciation Weekend. All right, we can listen in with Greg Esser.
When we score and go ahead, listen to me. We're Charlie.
know, they've got to try to get the basketball to their primary scorer, and that's Travis Conlon. But if they can't inbound it to Conlon, I think they're going to have two guys charging the blocks and try to get the pass into the post.
Well, they say this is a celebration of an educational experience. Right now, everyone's tense. In a moment, someone's going to be heartbroken and someone's going to be higher in the top of the world. That's basketball.
But I think both of these clubs can be proud. I think East Grand Rapids has played very well, and Lakeshore has shown a lot of poise, and they're playing like the champions that they possibly will be.
There's been some great finishes in tournament history. We may have one right here. Here we go. Lakeshore's going to get it to Travis Conlon. Little 8-footer, and he gets it to go with 1 second to go, and East Grand Rapids calls timeout. Remember that one for a long time. It rolled around and rolled around, and then it fell. Now, Scott Tompkins says we want more than a second put on the clock. He wants some time added to that clock. Here we are, Vern.
Here we come. He does an excellent job here of maintaining his balance. Actually, he got fouled on the jump shot. He stayed with it, kept his concentration, got the roll.
And they do
we see it again. He came up with the screen at the top. Maybe there was a block foul there.
See what the time is when Elson here calls time with 2.7. That's great. He should get at least a second or so put back on the clock. So the All-Stater Travis Conlon, would that be a way to close out a high school career? For all the shots he's missed today, 15, the one he made is the one that might have given his team all the
Absolutely. And he made a difficult shot. He was moving to his left, caught the pass, moving away from his strong hand, was able to take the blow from the defense and then get squared up and knock it down.
Travis, they have put a second back on the clock, so that'll be 2 seconds left. And let me tell you something. I remember the game that Irvin Johnson played his senior year when Kevin Smith hit one from behind midcourt to send it into overtime. I remember the 70-footer here against Buena Vista, I believe, in Class B a couple of years ago at Chrysler Arena on the Mark Macon days that his team won, I believe. I mean, so we've seen shots, but 2 seconds, something can still happen. You remember the NCAA tournament game with Christian Leitner when he knocked Duke out of knocked Kentucky out.
Well, East Grand Rapids has really got two options here. They can try to get the foul on the baseline if they're allowed to run the baseline, go to the line and shoot a 1-and-1. Or they got to throw it deep enough to turn and get a nice jumper off.
And they don't want to foul. Lakeshore does not want to foul anyway at all. And how tough that is for a sophomore like Corbin Elson, who thinks he's a hero with 5 seconds to go, and 3 seconds later, Travis Conlon takes over as the hero, and now there's still 2 seconds left to determine if we have another hero. So as you heard Vern set it up, it'll be Chris Vitorini to inbound it. There'll be no pressure on the ball.
The count is still on until that ball is caught.
Here's Carup, and it's stolen away, and that's the game. It was batted away by Jeff Patu, and St. Clair Shores Lakeshore has won its first ever state championship. St. Clair Shores Lakeshore comes from behind with a basket in the final 2 seconds by All-Stater Travis Conlon, and they win it. 38-37 over a heartbroken but game East Grand Rapids team, which was a huge underdog not only today but in this tournament, and nearly pulled off a tremendous victory. 38-37 as the Shoreans celebrate a 28-0 season with a comeback win here today. It wasn't pretty for either club, but it was gutty both ways. And as happy as you are for one team, your heart breaks for the other, no matter who would have won it.
I think East Grand Rapids played a tremendous basketball game, and I think they have a lot to be proud of. They gave themselves an opportunity to win. It took a great play by Travis Conlon to put Lakeshore up. And we see here where that was Patu who knocked the ball away from Carup on the last play.
So there are your Class B state champions. They went 54-1 the last 2 seasons. No team in Michigan high school basketball has won that many games over the span. We'll come back with our award presentation and the post-game interviews in a moment. You're watching the MHSAA on Pass.
Ball game, bottom of the ninth.
It's prime time for Pass prime time. 75 seconds.
Before the presentation of the championship trophy and medals, let's acknowledge these two fine teams for their achievements this year and their play here today. At this time, we direct your attention to center court, where William Newkirk, superintendent of Maple City Glen Lake Community Schools, member of the Michigan High School Athletic Association Representative Council, will make the awards presentations. First, let's honor the runner-up in Class B, the Pioneers of East Grand Rapids. First, we will present individual medals. Number 20, Paul Reinert. #21, Ryan Norton. #22, Andy Bolima. #24, Andy Hicks. #30, David Reinert. #33, Andy Blas. #35, Steve Morris. #42, John Wartholt. #11, Eddie Lampton. #12, Josh Brewer. #32, Jim Carup. #40, Corbett Elson. #44, Chris Vittorini. And accepting the runner-up trophy in Class B, Scott Tompkins, head coach of the Pioneers of East Grand Rapids. Congratulations on an outstanding season. And now for the 1994 Michigan High School Athletic Association Class B champions, the Shoreans of St. Clair Shores Lakeshore. First, we will present the individual medals. Number 3, James Scribo. Number 4, Jason Knoll. Number 11, John Murtaugh. 12, Brian Reitz. 30, Chris Reitz. 40, Don Lacey. 54, Ron Wallace. 55, Ian Bondi. 10, Jeff Patu. 21, Travis Conlon. 23, Jeremy Collins. 33, Pat Flaherty. 50, Carlos Sesta. And accepting the championship trophy for the Shoreans of St. Clair Shores Lakeshore, Coach Greg Elsher. Congratulations to St. Clair Shores Lakeshore, the 1994.
The Shoreans win the Class B championship here at Breslin. They're celebrating as they should be. What a fantastic finish. A terrific high school basketball game. Stay with us. We'll talk with the winning coach and players. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance.
In every corner of the state, Michigan folks receive a special kind of insurance help from Farm Bureau Insurance agents. Help when it counts. People talking with people, and that'll never change. Wherever you live, whatever your lifestyle, your Farm Bureau agent is...
To put Lakeshore on top by 1. East Grand Rapids comes back. Corbin Elson scores to put the Pioneers on top by a single point. And then down the stretch, a tremendous finish from the corner. They may call it Conlon corner from here on in, because Travis Conlon hits that twisting fall-away shot that spins around the rim, hangs on the rim what seems like an eternity before dropping through, which gives the Lakeshore Shoreans the championship in Class B. Right now, we're going to go courtside. Tim Stout and Vern Payne have some very happy Shoreans to celebrate their victory.
Okay, with me is Greg Gessler, the head coach. Congratulations, Coach. I would imagine in your sleep you'll see that ball around the rim and down and win, and your superstar gave it to you.
Well, there was no question. The last play, we set up for Conlon, and he was either going to win it and lose it for us. But I got great confidence, and I knew when it was rolling and trickling that it was going to go down.
When he got in foul trouble, that kind of messed up your plans in the second half, didn't it?
That messed us up because our defensive pressure was nowhere what it should have been, and I thought the other kids, Zoe Reitz and Collins, stepped up when Travis got that fourth foul.
It must get tough when you're missing some of those shots as close as he was. Then he buries a couple for you in the fourth quarter. But then, again, like I told Vern, you miss a lot of them, but he hits the one you have to win.
Well, he's a clutch player, and there's no question. It's just not the Travis Conlon show, but he's a great player, and he's going to have a great future at Michigan. There's no question about that.
Congratulations, Coach, on your state championship. Nice to talk with. Vern Payne's with Travis Conlon. Vern?
I've got Travis Conlon and Jeff Patu here. Jeff, I want to start with you. You played very well on both ends of the basketball court, but it's fitting that you came up with a big play at the tail end of the basketball game there to knock the basketball away from Carib. Tell us what you were thinking.
I didn't know. I was thinking of going up for the ball at first, but I know they were calling the game tight, like in the first half with Travis, and I had 2 or 3 fouls, so I wasn't sure if I should jump for the ball. Just wait till he got it, and as soon as he got his hand, I went right underneath. Coach does never go down, over the top because you can get a foul, so I just went underneath him, slapped it away, and Carlo came over and snatched it. So.
Great play. Excellent play. Now let's talk to Travis for a moment. Travis, you struggled a little bit that first half offensively. You missed some jumpers, but everybody in the auditorium knew that going down the stretch, you were going to get the basketball. You got it. Tell us what happened.
Well, we were in a timeout, and I told my coach that earlier when I hit the three-pointer to go by 1, I told him I wanted to run a play. It's called 40. It's out of bounds play for me for a three-pointer, and I connected on it, and I told him I wanted the ball at the end of the game. If I wanted to lose, I wanted it to be on my shoulders, and we ran a play called 30, and I came off a pick from Pat Flaherty, and Carlos Sessa got me the ball, and I just went to the hole and tried drawing the foul, and I just finished my shot and fouled through and went in, and that was it. It was all over after that.
Congratulations. Great championship.
Okay, guys, congratulations. Let's see what those medals look like. You're champions in Class B. Congratulations to both of you.
Guys.
Okay, Vern, so it's 38-37. And they will celebrate tonight.
They will celebrate tonight, and the game started a little slow, 13-13 at the halftime, but both teams picked it up the second half, and it came right down to the wire. Just a great high school championship basketball game.
It's the first of 4 today at the Breslin Center. Now let's go back to Rec.
Thank you, gentlemen. If that's the sign of things to come, boy, have we got a great day on tap for you. Just 1 down, 3 more still to come. Keep it right here. One of your network sponsors is True Value Hardware.